And they're putting on a clinic there today, the band. I mean, they really are putting on a clinic there. Good stuff here as we celebrate the United States Marines, 250 years protecting you, me, and this country. Ben Berquam is over there on the shore of Camp Pendleton. He's going to see a lot of action, seen some action already with some helicopters moving over. We're going to see fighter jets and amphibious landings and so much more. But he's got a special guest that has to wrap it up for the day. He's losing his escort. Ben, take it away.
Yeah, Steve, before I forget, and I've been missing this all day, I do want to give a special shout out to my Marine Corps scout sniper, the voice of Law and Border, Dave Bray, USA, an amazing patriot for our country. I have the honor of working with him. He's also, of course, the voice of Law and Border, as I mentioned, DaveBrayUSA.com. I love you, brother. God bless you. God bless all of our Marines out there. Lieutenant Colonel Pyrek, so just walk us through again what we're going to see. And again, it's the First Marine Expeditionary
Force, yeah.
Such a nice sounding title. So walk us through what we're going to see, our audience is going to see. And again, we're very, very unique vantage point to be able to be out here.
Absolutely. So, what better way for Marines to celebrate our birthday than with good, hard training? We are excited to do what we do and to show it to you and to the world. And so today, Marines operate from the sea. So we're here with our Navy brothers and sisters. And so Marines are going to operate out of the sea, fight to the shore, and then retrograde back to the sea as we would do in any sort of crisis situation. And so they're going to arrive via air, land, and sea. We're going to start out with our reconnaissance Marines who are going to parachute in. They set the battlefield for us. They're our eyes and ears. And then they're going to be followed almost simultaneously and traced by our Navy SEALs who are going to helo-cast out of a helicopter. They're going to jump into the water and swim ashore. And those elements will set the battlefield for us. They clear obstacles. They send information real time back to the command center to make sure that our Marines can get ashore to take the objective that they've been sent to. They will be followed by light armor reconnaissance that is able to then secure and separate the objective so that no further enemy could come in. And then we're going to have ACVs come ashore. Those are the amphibious combat vehicles that are going to bring our Marines. They're essentially a floating tank that is going to drive out the back of the well deck of the USS Boxer, swim to the shoreline, come up ashore, drive up the beachhead, and Marines are going to flow out the back of it. And those Marines are able to then clear through the city and make sure that Combat Town is secure. They will be followed by landing craft air cushions, the LCACs that the Navy flies, are going to bring our heavy equipment ashore. So they're coming with the Nemesis anti-ship interdiction system, as well as our artillery fire. And we're going to mass combat power on this beach. And throughout this, we are going to have a demonstration of, Marine and naval air power. They are going to fly both deep strikes as well as simulated close air support. And then at the end of this, we are going to fire live fire in accordance with all safety protocols into our training ranges. And it is going to be truly a sight to see.
Yeah, I noticed we've got some headphones over there, or not headphones, but the ear protection. Are we going to need those, or can I do it without?
You're going to need it for the air power. These pilots are excited to show you what they've got. It will be roaring loud as they fly past us, and then as well as the artillery fire. That those guns are loud, but they are going to deliver precision fires.
Steve, sometimes our job is hard. Today it's not. I am so looking forward to this.
Yeah, it's the same thing, Ben. When I was there with the Navy, it's like you get to see all these incredible, I don't mean to call them toys, but it's awe-inspiring because since I was a kid, you look at these things, man, these are just remarkable things to take pride in. It's the American pride I get, Ben. I get it.
Yeah. And by the way, as I said that, I just thought, my job is really never hard compared to the men and women in combat. So I even take that back. My job is never really hard, relatively speaking. So what an honor to be out here, Steve, with the men and women that put on that uniform, that sacrifice for this country. God bless you all. God bless all of our troops.
There you go. All right, Ben. Greatly appreciate that. We're going to back away from Ben for just a moment here. I think we're going to run down the shore, if I'm not mistaken, where Amanda Head is standing by. She had to put in the the AirPods, because the band, which, by the way, Amanda, that band is terrific. I mean, and nothing against the Army band, nothing against the Navy band. If there was a competition, these guys are killing it. I'm just telling you, they're just killing it.
It is so amazing. And look, if you are my generation of millennial, you might be familiar, and this is going to be such an obscure cultural reference, but Christina Aguilera had a song called Candyman, and the music video for that featured, the style of the song was very much like what you are hearing, that 1950s, 1960s bop with a little bit of like early 2000s flair. But in the music video, she's dancing alongside a military band, and it just reminded me of that. So clean, so crisp, so stylistic. It's just amazing. The vibe here is incredible. The stands are starting to fill up. I would say, I mean, you can see behind me, it's pretty much all full except for maybe a few seats here and there. And much like the rally setup that we've seen for President Trump's campaign rallies, seats all the way up the side. There's another grandstand behind the stage, and I'm staring at a giant American flag. So I have to say for myself, it's just a Polaroid moment looking up at this behind the camera. But on the back side of this American flag is a huge video board. So the people who are in the grandstands behind there can still see everything that's happening. So it's incredible. Listen, I've always said this, I'm terrible at crowd estimates. I have no idea. It could be 3,000, it could be 15,000. It's somewhere in between there, I do believe. But things are starting to get fired up. I think that they are starting the ceremony in about 8 minutes, so we're going to be taking that live, and you're all going to get to see the best coverage of this from your home, from your couch. So, enjoy, buckle up. It's going to be incredible. I'm so glad that Ben had that opportunity to interview that soldier, because hearing about everything that's going to be taking place, I mean, it brings tears to my eyes. I love this kind of stuff. I love the flyovers. Getting to see the might and the precision of the United States Marine Corps, that is what today is all about. It's about love of the Marines, love of country, and love for everything that the last 250 years have produced to lead up to next year, July of 2026.
Well said, Amanda. Very well said. It is a remarkable celebration, which we're going to continue sharing with you for the rest of the day. She said we're going to get to the real speakers and so forth kick off here in top of the hour is what we're expecting. Let me tell you this, though. Gold is up around 60% this year. That's not speculation. It's reality. If a portion of your savings isn't diversified into gold, you're missing the boat. Time to get on that boat, my friends. Gold is at almost $4,300 an ounce. You wish you bought more, didn't you? Or bought some. I guess I do. Here are the facts. Inflation's still too high. The U.S. dollar is still too weak. Government debt is insurmountable. It's why banks are flocking to gold. They're the ones driving prices up to record highs right now. But it's not too late to buy gold from Birch Gold Group. And get in the door now. Birch Gold will help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. You don't pay a dime out of pocket. Just text America to 989898. Claim your free information kit. There's no obligation, just useful information. Trust me, you want to get in on this. The best indicator of the future is the past, and gold has historically been a safe haven for millennia. What else can say that? Text America to 989898 right now. Claim your free information kit on gold. That's America to 989898. Protect your future today with Birch Gold. Now, we're going to get to that to the top of the hour, but I want to do something here because it's a patriotic day. Same as we did the U.S. Army parade, same as we did the U.S. Navy celebration. And I just want to reflect on something that happened here a few days ago, and that, of course, was Charlie Kirk getting the Medal of Freedom. I think it was a moment that a lot of us have reflected on for the past month, well, ever since September the 10th. And I think on this day, maybe it's an important time to include a comment from that. I want Donald Trump's remarks at the award ceremony, in case you missed it for any reason, when he was awarding the Presidential Medal of Freedom to Charlie Kirk posthumously after his assassination. It's just one of those moments that fits for me today. Listen.
5 weeks ago, our nation was robbed of this extraordinary champion. He was a champion in every way. I got to know him so well. He didn't like losing. And he was able to fight people that were enemies, and he didn't necessarily love those enemies so much. I heard he loved his enemies, and I said, wait a minute, is that the same Charlie that I know? I'm not sure, but I didn't want to get into it. But it was a horrible, heinous, demonic act of murder. He was assassinated in the prime of his life for boldly speaking the truth, for living his faith and relentlessly fighting for a better and stronger America. He loved this country. And that's why this afternoon it's my privilege to posthumously award Charles James Kirk, our nation's highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Thank you.
Good to be an American today. I also have good news. They have started the ceremony there in California. We're going to go straight to the stage as they have live speakers.
And there was no shortage of moments when we should have, but we weren't quite allowed to, were we? Not because we weren't strong enough to execute, but because of a fundamental misperception of what America's role is in this world, a misunderstanding of what a sovereign nation has the inherent right to do, to secure its borders and critical infrastructure, to protect its people, assets, and interests, to ensure freedom of navigation through critical international waterways, and to smash those who not only seek to do us harm, but actively perpetrate it, including on our soil. There are so very many people opposed to this version of peace who lack context, who do not understand what the world outside the comforts of the West is like, who lack clarity on what is required to ensure the continuity of this exercise in freedom, democracy, and exceptionalism. Not anymore, though. To have our 250th year be our great unshackling is our God-given right. It's an exciting, heartening, and energizing moment that gives me not merely hope, but confidence in our future as a nation and civilization. To have leadership this committed to the warfighter, this committed to effects, this willing to tear down bureaucracy in favor of speed, innovation, and lethality. Willing to take bold action where and when we have every right to fully empower both the military and the private sector, our deepest strengths, the two things no nation on earth can compete with when fully unleashed. I have served this country faithfully my entire life, as a Marine, as a civilian running crisis and contingency response operations globally across a wide range of national security issues, and now leading an extraordinary team in the private sector that is equally committed to our nation's defense. I've served under many administrations, and I've never seen the level of willingness to unleash the warfighter that we are blessed with right now. Let's go. And there is especially good news for the Corps. We are seen for what we are, revered for the ferocity with which we are imbued, our nation's finest fighting force. And not only when we enjoy that 3-to-1 advantage that we rightly and smartly seek, but also, much to our adversaries' dismay, we excel when the cards are stacked against us. In a very real sense, we are living in a chesty-puller moment. The enemy has been given ample opportunity to get into position. They think they've positioned themselves brilliantly. They believe we're surrounded. But they're about to swiftly learn what we already know. We're not surrounded. We're just in a target-rich environment. And we're hungry. This Corps and country will never be brought to its knees. The Corps thrives because of its many virtues, its spirit, its discipline, but also its scrappiness and innovation, its bias for action and delegation of authority to the lowest possible level. It's why we insist on servant leaders, and it's why our most junior enlisted Marines are held up as the very backbone of this Corps. Our enemies do not understand. They live in a rigid, top-down, oppressed state because they know that if they empower their people, they will collapse. They do not understand acta non verba, actions, not simply words. They do not understand ad inveniam via mod faciam, I shall either find a way or make one. And now we are empowered with the most profound understanding and execution of sivi pacem parabellum. If it's peace you seek, prepare for war. My last assignment working for the U.S. government was leading a contingency unit that was an oh shit button for complex or time-sensitive requirements that we were ill-positioned for. And I realized on the flight over here, the Marine Corps is the button our nation hits when we want our adversaries to say, oh shit. To our adversaries, because I know you're watching, you have no idea what you're up against. You have no idea what unshackling this force means for you. I would bet on this stadium in any climber place, every time. Welcome to your future, ripe with those shits, and welcome, Marines, to a renewed era. Happy 250th birthday, and here's to 250 more. Rah.
I believe that people are attracted to the United States Marine Corps because it's hard. You know, you have to earn the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor. It's earned, it's not given. And I believe that that's what attracts people to become part of it, is that challenge of, can you be a Marine? And I think that's what attracts the type of people that the Marine Corps has.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome United States Marine Corps veteran and Medal of Honor recipient, Dakota Meyer.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Marines. What an awesome day it is to be here and to show the American people the incredible capabilities of the United States Marine Corps. But before I go any further, I want to take a moment to thank the families, the parents, the spouses, the children who stand behind every single Marine. You are the quiet strength of the Corps. You carry the weight on every deployment, every late night, every sacrifice. While you don't wear the uniform, you live the cost of it every single day. And none of us would be who we are or what we do, or none of it would be possible without you. Because serving this country is a family business. Today, as we display what we can do, as Americans watch, I pray that they leave here tonight with two things. Not only a better understanding of what the United States Marine Corps is capable of, but more importantly, with a peace of mind, a little bit less weight on their shoulders, knowing that no matter what, there are Marines ready to deal death to any of our adversaries across the globe in any place that they so shall choose at any moment that they shall wish. But today isn't about showing our strength or celebrating the 250th birthday. It's about something more, Marines. It's about a recommitment to being what a Marine means, a recommitment to the standards that built this brotherhood, a recommitment to the promise that we make every single American when we wear this uniform. But before we can recommit, we must understand what it is to be a United States Marine and what it is that makes us different. The first trait that I'd like to start with is our oath, because it's the foundation of understanding what a Marine is. Like every person that wears a uniform, we take an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. But Marines, just like everything else, we take that oath to another step. We take it further with 6 simple words. Once a Marine, always a Marine. But that commitment doesn't mean what some of you think it does. It doesn't mean that once you earn it, you get it to be it. It means that once your character, your courage, and your commitment have all been tested and proven, then and only then are you trusted to carry the sacred Eagle, Globe, and Anchor. And by accepting it, you yourself are committing to live to the standards, the unconditional standards every day from that point on. Because being a Marine, it isn't a job. It's a way of life. For us, the oath isn't paperwork. It isn't a formality. It's a covenant. It's a lifelong promise to you, the American people, that we will stay ready to perform the impossible all the way up to the cost of our lives. As Marines, our commitment doesn't stop when our contract's over. It stops when we take our last breath. And that's the difference between wearing a uniform and wearing this uniform. The second trait of being a Marine is only understood when you look at us next to the other branches. They all make logical sense. The Army fights on the ground, the Navy owns the sea, and the Air Force rules the skies. But the Marine Corps, in no way, shape, or form makes sense on paper. Because we fight on the ground, we fight from the air, and we fight from the sea. So why are we here? Well, it's simple. We go wherever we're needed. When all logical options have been exhausted, and when the uncertainty starts to prevail, Marines are already on the way to be the illogical solution to whatever that is. We're not here because we make sense. We're here because we are the chosen branch of the American people. The Corps was built to do one thing and one thing only, the impossible. We go where others won't, and we win when others can't. The third most defining trait of a Marine is the standards that we hold. You've heard our incredible leader, Secretary of War, Secretary Hegseth, talk a lot about standards lately. Good. Because for us, standards are nothing more than a reference point of unacceptable mediocrity. We don't just meet standards, we set the standards. We live the standards, we are the standards. The only acceptable standard for a United States Marine is perfection, with the constant desire to be better. But if you want to know the secret of our Corps and who we owe everything to, it's our NCOs. They're God-sent keepers of the Corps. They're the backbone. They're the solution to problems. They're the ultimate stakeholders of our lineage. And they are the dealers of death to our adversaries. When I think about NCOs and the one who truly defines what that title stands for, I think of nothing more than my personal hero, Sergeant Matthew Abate, who gave his life in Afghanistan and was posthumously awarded the Navy Cross. Sergeant Abate defined the rules of war for all NCOs to follow. Number 1, young warriors die. Number 2, you can't change number 1. And number 3, the most important, someone must walk point. And then he summed it up into one gunfighting commandment. Nothing matters more than thy brethren on thy left and thy right. Thou shalt protect no matter what. And because of this, the Marine Corps is not just a fighting force. We are the answered prayers of those in need, and we are the world's dealers of hope. Hope that no matter how dark the night gets, no matter how bad the odds are, as long as there is a Marine and their rifle, good will prevail and evil will violently be eliminated. That's who we are. That's who we've always been, and that's who we must remain. Because of Marines, wherever there's an American flag and an eagle, globe, and anchor stands in the world, it's a better place. But as Marines, it's important to remember this. None of us standing here today have earned the love and respect that comes with that title. When someone says thank you for your service, they're thanking the men and women who went before us, who proved that we would do good and we would honor the promise that we make the Americans with our lives. They gave their tomorrows so that we could have our todays, and because of that, we owe them everything. We owe them the discipline to keep our honor clean. We owe them the humility to carry this title with respect, and we owe them lives worthy of sacrifice. So as we celebrate 250 years of the Corps and these incredible capabilities that you all are going to witness here a little bit later, I ask you as Marines to recommit. Recommit to being what a Marine is, recommit to the oath, recommit to the promise that you made when you accepted the EGA, and recommit, most importantly, to honoring our dead. Because one day, when another generation stands right here where we are right now, they will judge us, not by what we said tonight, but by how we lived the years between now and then. Happy 250th, Marines, and Semper Fidelis.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome celebrated comedian and actor, Brian Callen.
What's up, Marines? Happy birthday! How we doing in the sunshine? It's great to be here. It's an honor to be here. As a civilian, this is, I feel very safe. I feel like this beach is secure. And this is a little overwhelming for me. But I want to start, before I get into any comedy, I want to just start with acknowledging this administration. We have the Secretary of War here. We've got J.D. Vance. But most importantly, I want to thank the President of these United States for bringing peace to a region that hasn't seen peace since Moses had a parting of the ways with the Pharaoh. If you don't think that's a big deal, and I don't hear much from, I don't know, CNN, MSNBC, what? Okay? That's the bottom line. And you know, when Trump said something to the effect of, if you don't come to the peace table, I'm going to unleash hell, I saw in my mind, I saw the front line of that hell, just a bunch of Marines on a tight leash just going, and I think they did too. And it makes me proud to be an American. It's kind of exciting. We have the Secretary of War. I'm glad we brought that back. We brought that title back. It's been a long time. I'm not sure what, I'm very ignorant when it comes to military. I think he was a major. I don't know what a major does, but probably something major, right? If there's a major problem, you don't call a lieutenant, right? I don't know. And then Secretary of War, that's a sexy title, right? You're not the God of War, but you're just below, right? Like if you want to get to we know who the God of War is, Trump. This is what I love about our president. The guy can be like, come to the table or I'll bomb you. And then he does this. He's feared everywhere and he dances. That's a bad impression. The point is, I haven't worked on my Trump dance. And then we got J.D. Vance, Vice President J.D. Vance, who started out, I guess he was an E4, right? Yeah. It's weird, though, to go from an E4 to the second most powerful man in the world. And people talk about the deep state, but nobody ever talks about the E4 mafia. Am I right? Oh, look at you guys. Oh, so orderly. My God. This whole thing has got me all crazy. I'm a civilian. I'm backstage with Jocko Willink and Dakota Meyer. I'm producing so much estrogen. And then, I'm just being honest. And you know, I was talking to my wife, and my wife said something to the effect, I said, I don't know what to do. Like, I got to do comedy in front of 15,000 Marines. And she said, why don't you just tell stories about what it's like to grow up under a Marine father? And so can I do that for you? Can I indulge you for a little bit just to tell you what it's like? Because I think my father embodied the Marine spirit, and I've never been more proud to be the son of a Marine. I didn't join the Marines because my father, I take after my mother's side. She's a small woman, Sicilian. They're a bent people. We get cold easily. My father's Irish German. He's 6'4", 250, grew up on a farm. They had no money, so he just grabbed a cow and sucked its udder, I think. Seriously, his fingers are too fat to dial his cell phone. I have to do it for him. He has no neck. He's built for war, and I'm built for dance. So, seriously, you don't use this in the Marines, but I've never taken dance, but look at how I reach, you know? And that's not patriotic. So the point is, I thought I would just share some stories. And I hope this resonates, because my father beat the crap out of all your fathers. Yeah, he was just always one of those guys who just reminded me of how lucky I was to be an American and what being an American required, because the price of freedom doesn't come for free. And you guys know that better than anybody else. And, you know, one time I remember we were in a farm. We had to cross this field. This is just to give you an idea of what he was like. We're in a farm. We had to cross this field. And we were about to open the gates, one of those latches that opens like this. And as we're about to do that, this Rottweiler this huge male Rottweiler with a head this big just started trying to get at us through the fence, just going, no, 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 just foaming at the mouth. And it was just horrifying looking dog trying to kill us. So, of course, I went, oh, boy, let's not make any movements. We'll just walk around. And my father didn't notice the dog. He just looked at me and he said, what are you doing? And I said, I'm walking around. And he said, no, we'll cut through. It's faster. And I said, I know, but we're not crows. We can't fly. And my father said, you're afraid of a dog? And I said, well, it's the kind of dog they use to guard the gates of hell. So, and my father sucked his teeth and he opened the gate. He was about to open the gate and I panicked and I went, Dad, 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 please, there's a Rottweiler they're trained to kill. Please don't do this. You know? And my father just noticed the dog going crazy. And he got down and he went, hey, 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 shut your yap. And he blew in that dog's face. And whatever satanic energy my father has, that dog sobered up. That dog was going, no, no, and just went, oh, and then sat down sideways. And my father opened the gate and started walking across the field. And I took this finger, you see this finger? And I went like that, and I put it in the loop of his pants, and I followed him like that. And I was 28 years old. Okay? That's story one. Here's another story. We're hanging out. It's brunch with my whole family, 13 members of my family. My father's reading the newspaper because he's done with us. And when he read the newspaper, we'd leave him alone. And all of a sudden, I just see him suck his teeth, and he goes, and I go, what? He goes, a grown man in Colorado was attacked and killed by a mountain lion. And I was like, yeah. And he went, pansy. And I said, I'm sorry to interrupt your reading, but are you under the impression a mountain lion couldn't kill you? And he goes, that's a stupid question. And I went, why is that a stupid question? And he said, because first of all, a mountain lion isn't a real lion. And second of all, a mountain lion wouldn't attack me. And I said, how do you know that? And he goes, I don't know. It knows. Okay? Now here's the final story. And here's when I realized I wasn't Marine material, because I wanted to be. But we got in the car, and I was sitting in the driver's seat. I was sitting in the passenger seat. And on the dashboard, we're about to take off, and on the dashboard was a Hornet. A Hornet, not like a yellow jacket, but the kind of Hornet that the Lord puts on the earth to sting a man for his sins. The ones that aren't even part of the ecosystem, they live under the ground, and they you know the kind of Hornets, like a yellow jacket stings you, like, you know, and you're like, ow, and it dies. Not this kind of Hornet. This had 2 abdomens and armor. Looked like one of those amphibious. It had wings. It was horrifying. You know the kind that can sting you. They grab you, and they hump sting you 50 times. Your face melts. You can't have an open casket. You know what I'm talking about? And that was what was on there. And the thing just, I could see it. And it was clearly trying, it was going to come. And I knew I would die. And I lost feeling in my hands. I remember trying to get out of the car. And I said something like, Papa, or something. And nothing moved. And my father, without missing a beat, just reached over with his giant farm fingers and grabbed that thing and broke its bones. It just like that. And the thing died hard. It was like, screw you, and died. And then he was rubbing his fingers, and I came to it, and I was like, did that thing sting you? And he goes, probably. And I was like, well, that's not a philosophical question, you know? So about 6 months later, I was on a date. And I remember I borrowed my buddy's car because my car was a Civic, and I wanted to impress this gal. And we get in the car, and everything's going great, and I couldn't believe she liked me. And I was taking her to a restaurant I couldn't afford. And that same Hornet was on the dashboard. And it was even bigger. This thing looked like dangerous candy. I think it had wings. I can't remember. But it was terrifying. And it was just there. I think it was there to avenge its brethren. And it was there. And my date, she just went, please help me. I'm so allergic. And she froze. And this was when I realized this is when you separate the men from the boys. This is when you know who you really are. This is when I channeled my father. I said, if I'm going to be a Marine, I'm going to grab that thing. But it was so big, and I could just see its stingers. It was pulsing, and it was. And she was like, "Please help me." I was like, "Give me a second," you know. And finally, and she was like, "Help me!" And I was like, "Okay." And I was gonna get it, but I just couldn't because it was so scary. And then finally, it just flew up, and she was like, "Help me!" And I left her in that car. Yeah, and that was when I realized I'm not Marine material, but I am a patriot, and I feel so honored to be here. And I want to thank all of you for your service. God bless you. God bless America, and thanks for sitting through that. I appreciate you.
Welcome back, everyone. Terrence Bates joining the program as we honor the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Marine Corps. This celebration happening in Camp Pendleton. A couple of big names. The Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, set to speak. Vice President J.D. Vance will also be speaking. There also, I hear, might be a flyover and some other demonstrations from the U.S. Marine Corps. Looking forward to that. It's going to be a very full day. We've got Ben Berkram on the ground there in Camp Pendleton. Ben, when they say go to the beach, this probably wasn't exactly what you were expecting, but this is still pretty cool, my friend. Good afternoon.
Oh, there's no cooler beach. I mean, I've been to a lot of beaches in the world. Nothing gets better than this. The red sands, everything is going to take place right behind me. As you can see, we've got the ships ready. We've got the fast boats in position. Hovercrafts are going to be coming on board. We've got planes are going to be dropping the parachutists out of here. You can see basically the battle zone for today that's going to be waged over here. Vice President Vance is going to be set up on this side. Pete Hegseth is basically, his team is getting ready right behind the camera. So it's just what an incredible opportunity. Obviously, Amanda Head down there at the main stage, but man, if I had to pick, this is the spot to be. Just wait till you see this production. It's going to be incredible. And again, back to the speakers. This is all what it's about, projecting strength around the world.
Absolutely. Ben, we're going to check back with you momentarily. John Rich taking the stage now. Let's go there.
It's good to be in Camp Pendleton. Are you proud to be a Marine today? We got any Johnny Cash fans out in the audience? Let me hear you one time. Well, love is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring. Well, bound by a wild desire, I fell into a ring of fire. Y'all help me sing it. Say I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burned, burned, burned. The ring of fire, ring of fire. Y'all sing the trumpet part. Say da 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 da. You know it. Say da 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 da. Well, the taste of love is sweet when hearts like ours meet. Well, I feel for you like a child. Oh, and the fire went wild. Here we go. Say I fell into a burning ring of burns, burns, burns. The ring of fire, the ring of fire. Listen, it burns, burns, burns. The ring of fire, the ring of fire. Come on, Pendleton, sing it to me. Say da 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 da. Say da 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 da. I can't hear you. Say da 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 da. There you go, one last time. Da 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 da. Put your hands together out here in the great United States of America, Camp Pendleton. Oh, give me some guitar, Rob. Give me some guitar. So I was thinking about what songs I should sing in this momentous occasion, standing in front of America's finest, the most vicious fighting force in the history of the world, the United States Marine Corps. And I thought this song might be the perfect one. See if you know this one. Well, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. You can stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down. Here we go. No, I'll stand my ground. Won't be turned around. In a world that keeps on pushing me around, gonna stand my ground, yeah. And I won't back down. Sing it to me, Marine. Say, hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. Say, hey, yeah, I won't back down. Well, I know what's right. I got just one life, and I keep this world from dragging me around. Gonna stand my ground, yeah, and I won't back down. Let me hear you sing it. Say, hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. Say, hey, yeah, I won't back down. Hey, baby, hey, there ain't no easy way out. Say, hey, let me sing it one time. Won't back down. I can't hear you. No, I won't back down. What's a Marine say? No, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. God bless U.S. Marine Corps. Flew out here from Nashville, Tennessee last night. Yeah, we got some Tennesseans out there in the crowd, maybe. Got a few hillbillies out running around in the fatigues today. And I thought, I can't come here and not sing this one particular song. Now, it has 3 verses. And I know the first verse as an American citizen, but I did not know, and I'll admit, did not know the second 2 verses of the song. So I wrote them down to make sure I got them right, but I'm pretty sure you know them. And I was told that if you're a United States Marine, you know the words to this song. Like you know the words to a song that I don't even know. Shall we begin? Shall we begin the song? From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we fight our country's battles in the air and land and sea. First to fight for right and freedom and to keep our honor clean. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marine. Our flags unfurled to every breeze from dawn to setting sun. We have fought in every clime and place where we could take a gun. In the snow of far-off northern lands and in sunny tropic scenes, you will find us always on the job, the United States Marines. Here's health to you and to our corps, which we are proud to serve. In many strife we fought for life and never lost our nerve. If the Army and the Navy ever look on heaven's scenes, they will find the streets are guarded with United States Marines. Give it up for U.S. Camp Pendleton one time. You feeling good? Before I go any further, I'd like to give a long round of applause for my band tonight backing me up here on the stage. Thanks, guys. My band tonight is the U.S. Marine Corps. I'm depending on you to help me back up these songs. I'd like to play for you now one of the dumbest country songs ever written. And I wrote it myself. Yes, I did. And I'm proud of it. It's a pretty dumb song, but it caused a small baby boom in the early 2000s. We got any country music fans out in the crowd right now? Anybody like some country music? Yeah. I'll see if you know this one. Ha! Passing now $100 bills, and it kills and it thrills like the horns on my Silverado grill. Out by the bar, triple round the crown, and everybody's getting down in this town. It ain't never gonna be the same. Y'all sing it, 'cause I saddle up my horse and I ride into the city. I make a lot of noise, 'cause the girls, they are so pretty. Be riding up and down Broadway on my old Scott Leroy. And the girls say, horse, ride a cowboy. Everybody say horse, ride a cowboy. Yeah, well, I don't give a damn about nothing. I'm singing and bling-blinging while the girls are drinking. Long necks down, and I wouldn't trade old Leroy. My Chevrolet for your Escalade, your big parade. I'm the only John Wayne left in this town, and I saddle up my road. I ride into the city. I make a lot of noise, 'cause the girls, they are so pretty. Be riding up and down Broadway with my old Scott Leroy. And the girls say horse, ride a cowboy. And all the Marines say horse, ride a cowboy. Are y'all having a good time this afternoon in America? Let me hear you one time. Oh, here we go. Well, I'm a thoroughbred, that's what she said in the back of my truck bed as we was getting buzzed on suds out on some backcountry road. We were flying high, fine as wine, having ourselves a U.S. Marine Corps kind of time. I was going about as far as she let me go. Yeah, but her evaluation of my cowboy reputation had me begging for salvation all night long. Yeah, till I took her out gigging frog, introduced her to my old bird dog, sang her every Hank Williams Jr. song we could think of. We made love, and I saddled up my road. ride into the city. I make a lot of noise, cause the girls, they are so pretty. Riding up and down Broadway on my old stud Leroy. And the girls say, let's ride a cowboy. Everybody say, ride a cowboy. What? Say, let's ride a cowboy. Last time, everybody sing it. Say, let's ride a cowboy. Come on, we're having fun now. Put your hands together one time. Can I play one more song for you? I want to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of these men and women in this crowd right now who could have done anything with their lives that they wanted to do. In the youth of your life, the prime years of your life, you live in a country that offers you life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Not the right to be happy, the right to pursue it, the right to go after it. You could have done anything that you wanted to do with your life, and you chose to join the Marines and serve our country. And I got to tell you, as a civilian, how much we appreciate your service and your sacrifice and your willingness to even die if necessary on behalf of the rest of us. Can I get a hell yeah from the Marine Corps one time? Come on. That's why I love the Marines. They can cuss and nobody gets in trouble. It's perfect. Right? You looking forward to hearing from the Sec War and the Vice President of the United States of America? I'm a high school graduate, nothing fancy in my pedigree, just a blue-collar family, probably a lot like yours. But I do have the Constitution, and I do have the Bill of Rights, and I do have the Declaration of Independence. And empire after empire throughout the history of this country has tried to take away those rights from us. But because of the U.S. military and the Marines, no one has ever succeeded in taking away our rights. And we have all of our success as civilians owed directly to the people in this audience tonight. It is an honor to sing for you this afternoon. I'd like to play for you what I consider to be the modern-day Star-Spangled Banner. I know that's quite a statement, because what beats the Star-Spangled Banner? Well, nothing. But this song, to me, is right up there with it. It's running a close second. And my friend Lee Greenwood said I would be able to sing this song anytime I wanted to. He gave me permission. So I'd like to end my set with this, and just know how much we appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for doing such a great job for our country. And I hope our enemies are scared to damn death when they see this picture of all of y'all gathered here today at Camp Pendleton. It goes like this. If tomorrow all the things are gone I worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife, I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, for at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, Detroit down to Houston, and from New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, let me hear from you, that I'm proud to be an American, or at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Stand up if you feel it now. And I'm proud to be an American, or at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. I'm John Rich. It's an honor to sing for you men and women this afternoon. God bless you, and thank you for being a Marine. Can I get one more hell yeah? God bless y'all. Have a great day. Thank you.
Since the birth of the Corps, we have answered the call. Through every battle, every climb, in every place. No matter the odds, no matter the obstacle. We adapt, we overcome, and close with and destroy the enemy. We know the future will not be the same, but the one thing we know will always remain is the Marine. For 250 years, we have formed ranks and held the line. We will for the next 250. For 2.5 centuries, we have shouldered the responsibility of freedom on behalf of our nation. Every battle fought, and every sacrifice made has been etched into our legacy. We are more lethal, more capable, and more ready than ever, while grounded in the traditions that made us who we are. We will not win the next fight on platforms alone. It is the Marine who will break the will of the enemy.
From our first amphibious landing at Nassau to the black sands of Iwo Jima to urban combat in Fallujah, our Corps has come a long way since Samuel Nichols first took command of 2 battalions at Tun Tavern. Though weapons, platforms, and technology continue to evolve, our individual Marines' grit, discipline, resolve remain our decisive advantage.
For 2.5 centuries, Marines have preserved our legacy as America's premier expeditionary force, because we are forward, ready, and lethal. From the moment a Marine earns their Eagle Globe and Anchor, they inherit a rich tradition of honor, courage, and commitment, a legacy that is etched on our souls forever. Our history is one of winning our nation's battle, and make no mistake, we will be called to fight again. We will be ready, and we will win.
Since our foundation, we have fought in every climb and place, upholding our oath and preserving who we are, the few and the proud. But we cannot break stride. We must continue to train for the next fight, because victory will go to those who seize the initiative, impose their will, and never yield. The pursuit of excellence in the profession of arms is our heritage, forged by an unbreakable fighting spirit. The memorial behind us stands as a testament to that fact. We stand on the shoulders of the giants that came before us. We must not fail them. The challenge is on all of us every day to uphold the standard that the title Marine demands.
Happy 250th birthday, Marines. Semper Fidelis.
You were young and your heart was an open book. You used to say, live and let live. But if this ever-changing world in which we live in makes you give in and cry.
Hello everyone, Terrence Bates here. You are watching the 250th anniversary celebration of the U.S. Marine Corps, which is happening in Camp Pendleton. This is really a huge deal there. There are going to be lots of really interactive parts of this program. You, of course, heard John Rich singing there, some comedians also speaking, but want to take you to the actual beach where one of the more interactive parts of the program is going to happen here in short order. Our Ben Berkholm is there. So Ben, there's literally going to be war games, for lack of a better word, that are going to be played out for people to give them an idea of the sorts of things that the U.S. Marine Corps does, because this is a Marine Corps that literally fights on land, in the air, as well as in the water.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. And actually, just to give you a lay of the land and update, we do have Secretary Hegseth on the ground. We're on one platform. He's on the platform next to us. He's given a briefing to some of the staffers and Marines that are here. Just a small, tight group of people. Any minute now, we're anticipating Vice President Vance's helicopter to be landing. That should be landing, again, just over the hill from where we're at. He's going to be moved down to the trucks that you can see there behind us. And then as soon as that happens, it's going to kick off. Basically, it's a beach clearing operation. From land, water, we're going to have amphibious, we're going to have the air, all of it, starting with the Marine Recon parachuting in. We're going to have the SEALs, helicopter, drop into the water, swim onto shore. There's going to be guys on what's, some of these things, the technology, I didn't realize we're using electric motorcycles now. And I thought, well, why would you use that? It's kind of, just the technology. You got to charge, we're going to charge this thing in the battlefield, but they're silent. So from a stealth standpoint, and then it gets really exciting. We've got the amphibious vehicles coming on shore. They're basically amphibious tanks that are going to bring the Marines on, followed by, you got the hovercrafts. We're going to have flyovers. The F-35s, one of those can actually hover and drop down onto ground. I don't think it's actually going to land, but it's going to show its hovering capabilities. And then ultimately, it's going to culminate with live artillery rounds getting shot right over our heads. It's just, as a guy who loves military, there's no cooler place to be. Terrence, I'm sorry I get to be here. I'll take one for the team, though.
Yeah, I am jealous of you on this one, because I would love to be there, even though I have to admit, when the live artillery starts shooting, I probably would duck and be the guy kind of doing the crab crawl. I'm just going to be honest about that. But this is really a great way to showcase where we are today, where our Marines are, and the sorts of capabilities they have.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The celebration it's kind of twofold. We are celebrating and honoring that have come before us and the legacy that they've left, but we're also showcasing to the world the capabilities of our military to say to our adversaries, don't screw around. And that, really is the biggest difference between this administration and the previous one. We had one that was, even from the name, defense, to now war. This is the offensive posture versus the defensive posture. And it's really what's made America the leader in the free world, the leader against the adversaries, not just of America, but people, freedom-loving people all over the globe. It's this idea that we are the world superpower because of our strength, and it's the big stick model of of President Reagan, you don't necessarily even have to use it if your adversaries know you have it. And so that's what we're going to see today in a way that hasn't been showcased. We were talking about this. I was talking this with the Lieutenant Colonel earlier. This is probably the second largest showing of military capability ever globally. And so it's going to be something to witness for sure.
Oh, wow. You know, as you've described what's going to happen there, the thing that comes to mind is American exceptionalism. This is going to be that on full display. But I also think when you really broaden the scope, this is about American patriotism, saying thank you, but also appreciating the men and women who put their lives on the line every single day for our freedom, which is patriotic in and of itself, Ben.
Absolutely. And you contrast that to what else is happening today. You know, it's the elephant in the room, no pun intended. There are a lot of elephants out there. So that's I digress though. You've got the No Kings protests all over the country where you have the degenerate class, this soup of depravity, I call it, who are out there protesting America. But while we're sitting here celebrating the fact that, well, the reason we don't have a king is because of our military. We decided as a nation, we rejected the model of kings. And President Trump isn't a king. In fact, as Steve Gruber said in the first couple hours, you wouldn't be able to do what you're doing. You wouldn't be able to have the demonstrations all over this country if we did have a king. And so we look at today and we celebrate and we honor those that put that uniform on. But we also, you know, you look at our country and our world and there is a division. This nation was founded, and the oath that every one of these Marines swears is to defend this country and the Constitution from enemies both foreign and domestic. And sadly, unfortunately, we have, I think, as many domestically as we've ever had foreign adversaries. And so we're in a tough place. But I got to tell you, all you have to do is look at the comparison between what you see on the celebration of Real America's Voice News honoring our Marines and our Navy today versus what you have on the streets across America with just, again, this soup of depravity. It's a very easy decision to make which side you want to be on, I think.
It should be an easy one to make for most people, for sure. You know, there are so many storylines that are going to be playing out there. The one that comes to mind is a former Marine enlisted man who has risen the ranks to be the Vice President of the United States, and he will be there. Is he arriving? I see you looking over there to the right. Is his helicopter arriving as I'm mentioning this?
Yeah, let's take this. We've got a motorcade coming in. I'm going to have this camera shot of this. It looks like the Vice President's motorcade has arrived. I'm going to step out of the shot so you guys can see that. And this is where the Vice President's going to come in and set up for his view of this scene. Again, Real America's Voice News in a very unique position out here. Now, originally we were told Vice President was going to fly in, so this could be his detail coming in, but it does look like the presidential motorcade from my experience. So stay tuned as we witness this. Again, that's the combat zone over there that the Marines are going to be clearing, and ultimately they're going to go and answer to the Vice President that they call it Combat Town. They're going to go to the Vice President. This is going to end with the Marines clearing the Combat Town, and the final statement is the objective is clear from the Marines to the Vice President.
As we continue to watch this, Ben,
Vice President Vance.
As we continue to watch this, and hopefully we'll see the Vice President get out of the motorcade, let's talk a little bit, though, about the message this sends and really kind of what statement this makes that you've got a Vice President who is a Marine, enlisted, and still rose to be the second most powerful man in the world and definitely in this country. I think it definitely sends a message about possibilities if you stick to it and do the right thing.
No, it's absolutely right. And just to give you an update, yeah, the Vice President Vance is on the ground. He's there in the shot in the green jacket. He's going to be getting a briefing from the Marines. And again, this is the first Marine Vice President we've ever had as a nation. He's going to be getting a briefing by the Marines, what to expect. And then very shortly after that briefing, everything is going to kick off. In fact, I'm told, actually right above me, I'm looking up right now, the parachutists are already coming down. They're coming out of the sky. They're going to be coming down onto the beach. So it's all happening. It's starting as we speak. It takes about 10 minutes for the parachutes to get down to the ground. And then simultaneously, we're going to start having the Navy SEALs come in off of the water as well.
Wow. And so I would imagine then, as I'm looking at all of this, this is a training ground, period. It's not something that was just set up for today's event. Is this a training simulation kind of area, that's typically set up anyway?
Yeah, no, the Camp Pendleton is a training ground. This is one of the largest military installations, training facilities in the country. And if you've ever been here, it's basically from Oceanside on the south to San Clemente in the north, and we're right in the middle of it. This is the red sand beach. This is where all the a lot of the training for amphibious attacks happens. You can see that Combat Town is a training town that's existed previously. This is where they do, those are all kill houses, so they train to they practice going in, clearing buildings, so Marines that are going to be deployed. That's what this is all about. Off to the left of the camera, up in the mountains, you've got all of the mountainous terrain where they work on. They call it humping. It's with their rucksacks, and they carry the gear, and they go up and down the mountains to train for all kinds of terrain situations. You know, this is where it happens. It just happens to be today that we're here to celebrate what the Marines do every single day. So this is for the guys that are here, the Marines that are here on base. The only difference today is there's a lot of cameras and you know, the Vice President and the Secretary of War here as well. But this is absolutely an active training ground.
Absolutely. Ben, stand by there. We want to continue to kind of watch all of this unfold. Also want to bring in Amanda Head really quickly. She is back at the other venue where many of the Marines, are staged in somewhat of a stadium as they're watching all of this. Amanda, can you hear me? It's good to see you.
I can. Hi, Terrence. Happy 250th birthday to the United States Marines. It is a beautiful day. I think about 15,000 Marines here in their fatigues. I've never felt safer in my life, I will tell you that. But we had a Marine escort, as all of the media, you had a military escort assigned to you, and I was talking with mine, shout out to Bobby, and he was telling me about the process of this happening here at Camp Pendleton, and I asked him when the preparations began, and he said that about 2 months ago is when they started hearing rumors that this would be taking place at Camp Pendleton. And I asked him, I said, you know, this base looks huge. Is it because is it because of the size? And he said, well, maybe, but 29 Palms, which is the largest United States Marine Corps base, is here in California as well, but it's further inland. So that's a bigger base. It's about 1,100 square miles. This one is about 200 square miles, but this one has the advantage of being on the coast. So all of this coordination and unity that we see between the United States Marine Corps and the United States Navy, that is on display here. So what Ben was talking about, everything that's happening aerially, the things that are happening by sea and here on land, you've got all that terrain, and everything is an option when it comes to what you can show of the American might. So lots of smiling faces here. I'm also seeing lots of Marines with their wives or husbands and babies. So that's really great to see. How cool for a child to get to experience this and to grow up, getting to tell friends and family and future spouses and children that they were here. They were here at Camp Pendleton for the Marines 250th, because as you know, Terrence, a lot of times military service is a legacy for the family. It gets passed down generation to generation. So proud moments for multiple generations here at Camp Pendleton.
I hear an announcement there behind you, so I'm assuming someone is getting ready to come to the stage. Can you clarify that for us?
Honor the giants that served before us, who laid the foundation upon
that is the MC, what sounds like the voice of God. I think this is the opening of the ceremony. So,
all right, we'll listen to that. And just for those of you watching on television, we're also seeing paratroopers come down, and you're also seeing, I'm assuming, it looks like that is Pete Hegseth, or that's J.D. Vance actually there, the vice president on site. We're also hearing that Pete Hegseth is going to be perched at a different location as the war games, if you will, begin. I'm going to be quiet and let's kind of listen and take this all in together.
To the streets of Fallujah, Marines have answered the nation's call in every clime and place. Today, you'll see the Navy and Marine Corps team in action, in the air, on land, and sea. A demonstration of our nation's amphibious capabilities, featuring the ships, aircraft, sailors and Marines who make it possible. Together, they will showcase the teamwork, precision, and readiness that define our naval expeditionary forces. The character of war continues to evolve, and with that, so do your Marines. We have modernized since 1775. Over the last 5 years, force design has been modernization at pace and within budget. We have delivered modernized forward forces, optimized for littoral operations, able to seize and hold key maritime terrain, deliver lethal effects, sense and shape the operating environment, and close kill webs in support of fleet maneuver and joint campaigns. Our formations are agile, capable, and lethal, built to close with the enemy and finish the fight. As a maritime nation, America depends on forces that can move fast, fight hard, and operate from the sea. That is what the Marine Corps was built to do. Our Navy partners make it possible, delivering Marines and their equipment wherever the nation needs them. Together, they form the Amphibious Ready Group and the Marine Expeditionary Unit, a Navy Marine Corps team designed to be forward, stay ready, and respond first. The ARG provides mobility and sustainment that support Marines across the globe. The MEU brings the combat power, a balanced Marine air-ground task force that can deploy from the sea to seize ground, deliver precision fires, and respond to crisis at a moment's notice. What you are seeing today is that capability in action. An amphibious force launched from the sea, conducting integrated operations ashore. Every aircraft overhead, every gun on the line, and every Marine on the move is part of a single combined arms team, organized, trained, and equipped to fight and win together. These forces give America options. They can project strength, deter aggression, and if called upon, fight and win. They are forward, mobile, and ready, standing watch and projecting power in support of our national security objectives. Today's demonstration is more than a show of strength. It is a reminder of purpose. The ships, the aircraft, and the Marines you see are part of a living legacy stretching back 250 years, a force that remains, as ever, the first to fight. Long before armor hits the beach, Marines and sailors are shaping the fight. Under the cover of darkness, reconnaissance Marines are inserted by a KC-130J Super Hercules, executing a high-altitude, low-opening insertion, also known as a halo jump. Marines land in contested areas, inaccessible by other platforms, because Marines go where others can't. The Super Hercules ramp drops. The reconnaissance Marines move out, disciplined, deliberate, light on their feet, heavy with purpose. They carry sensors, communications assets, and the mindset of trading comfort for mission success. Their task is to locate obstacles, chart enemy positions, refine landing lanes, and report exactly what the assault force will encounter when it lands. These Marines are the eyes and ears, observing the situation on the ground and relaying critical intelligence to the mission commander. Simultaneously, a SEAL team employing a dry combat submersible take the beach undetected, infiltrating the area of operations. This mission: confirm enemy disposition, identify obstacles, and establish a landing zone for follow-on forces. They use advanced sensors, acoustic, thermal, and visual, to gather critical intelligence. This is a direct descendant of the scout swimmers used in World War II, but with exponentially increased capability. Setting conditions for the Marines and sailors coming ashore. Aviation assets conduct strikes on enemy positions, thinning the enemy formations and distracting from the coming insertion of additional Navy SEALs. Shaping the littoral environment from combatant craft medium. A direct action SEAL team descends from the sky, inserting via helo-cast. This airborne low signature technique allows the SEALs to use a combination of boats to rapidly infiltrate the beach. Their mission is the key to neutralize enemy strongpoints, clear obstacles, and establish a secure beachhead. The SEALs are not seeking a protracted engagement. They are creating a window of opportunity for the main assault force. Above it all, strike aircraft stand ready to deliver deep effects on a commander's order, ensuring every move is backed by overwhelming American air power. Together, the quiet work of recon, the shaping of naval special warfare, and the mass and maneuver of the Marine Corps create conditions for victory. Before the first wave even hits the sand, this is the culmination of shaping operations, stealth and precision, enabling the massed, disciplined momentum of the Marine Corps. Sensor data flows into analytic tools that highlight threats, predict enemy movements, and surface opportunities. The Marine Corps of 2025 makes decisions in minutes, sometimes seconds. Every Marine is a sensor. Every vehicle is a node in a network that shortens the kill chain. As naval infantry, Marines exist to seize enemy beaches from the sea. Known as forcible entry operation, the layering of reconnaissance, surface and air assets enables Marine to arrive violently on the enemy shore, establish a beachhead, and flow Marine and joint forces ashore. As the amphibious combat vehicles prepare to make landfall, the previously inserted SEALs have found their first target, an enemy machine gun bunker, established to interdict the landing of Marines, preventing the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit from establishing a foothold on Red Beach. They will fail. Communicating with strike aircraft, providing overwatch high above, the Reconnaissance Marine, a qualified joint terminal attack controller, requests an airstrike to destroy the enemy threat.
Hornet flight, advise when ready. Game plan, 9 line.
Ready.
Type 2, bomb on target. 1 by GBU 54 each aircraft. Cutlass 2 9er 8 11.3. 123 feet. Enemy machine gun bunker. 8-digit grid. Mike Sierra 566-9er 83-9er 6. Negative mark. Southwest 200 meters. Egress L. Bull Ram Ford. 16 block 18. Final attack heading 290 through 320. Danger close. Initials Juliet Sierra. Go with readbacks.
I read back from my system. 123 feet. 8-digit grid. Mike Sierra 566-9er 83-9er 6. Final attack heading 290 through 320. Danger close. Initials November Whiskey.
Good readbacks. Immediate push.
Pushing. Cutlass.
Continue.
In 310.
Cleared hot. Battlefield effects for bombs.
On the horizon is the USS Boxer, flagship of this amphibious-ready group. A WASP-class amphibious assault ship, Boxer is sovereign U.S. territory. A floating airfield, hospital, and command center. She carries Marines, aircraft, and landing craft wherever America needs them. Today, she leads this formation, just as her namesake fought with distinction in the War of 1812. The original Boxer was known for the bravery of its crew and its effective use of naval tactics. The current USS Boxer carries a diverse air and surface warfare capability to support the Marine Expeditionary Unit's mission set. Beside her sails the USS Comstock, a dock landing ship named for the pioneering history of the American West. She delivers Marines, vehicles, and craft to the fight. At H-hour, the exact synchronized moment when the assault hits the beach, the ocean transforms into a battlefield. From beyond the horizon, amphibious combat vehicles smash through the surf, their armored hulls carrying Marines straight into the fight. Expeditionary and modernized in design, the ACV integrates with naval shipping and ship-to-shore connections. The ACV's ability to use the ocean and waterways to carry Marines and equipment make it well suited for a variety of operating environments. The ACV is lethal, balancing performance, protection, and payload, enabling it to support stand-in forces in the Pacific. Overhead, helicopter pilots prowl the battle space, hunting targets and passing target data back to the Marines ashore. UH-1 Yankee Venoms slice low across the surf, their sensors fusing with unmanned systems to extend the battlefield picture. AH-1 Zulu Vipers orbit like bird of prey, digitally linked to advanced sensors on air, land, and sea. Every rocket, every burst of 20mm fire is synchronized across the kill web. Precision, speed, and shock brought together in one fight.
These aircraft are part of the Muse Aviation Combat Element, which comprises tilt-rotor aircraft, transport helicopters, attack helicopters, fixed-wing aircraft, air defense teams, and ground support assets. The Air Combat Element boasts about 600 personnel to man and maintain all things air. Aviation is essential for distributed forces to leverage massed effects without the vulnerabilities of concentrated forces. As part of force design and force modernization, Marine aviation continues to enhance its capabilities for operating in austere and distributed littoral environments to support stand-in forces.
CH-53E Super Stallions roar in low. Marines surge into the dust and chaos. They will fan out instantly, rifles up, establishing a security cordon, locking down approaches, feeding target data back into the fight, and setting the conditions for the assault to push inside. Marines never enter a fair fight. Well before the actions on the objective, Marines have set conditions for victory through training, planning, and technological overmatch. In support of the landing ACVs, a combined anti-armor team, or CAT, consisting of 20 Marines loaded onto various armored vehicles, trucks, and large all-terrain vehicles, move into the objective area to provide support by fire to the assault force. Comprised of two sections, the CAT consists of a joint light tactical vehicle, gun trucks that are modern, armored, and capable. Outfitted on these JLTVs are heavy weapons, M250 caliber machine guns, M240 7.62mm machine guns, and SABER missile systems. The SABER missile system is a tube-launched, optically tracked, wire-guided missile that enables Marines to punch through enemy armor and reinforce positions. Alongside these JLTVs is the Marine Corps' latest kinetic anti-drone system, the LMATIS. The light Marine Air Defense Integrated System is mounted to a highly mobile and versatile ultralight tactical vehicle. In this era of modern warfare, the LMATIS enables Marines to spoof, jam, and defeat drone threats from non-kinetic electronic attack capabilities.
This isn't theory, it's proven. In July of 2019, aboard the USS Boxer, Marines employed the LMATIS to take down an Iranian drone, threatening the ship in the Strait of Hormuz. No missiles, no explosions. A non-kinetic strike, delivered at the speed of electrons, sent that unmanned aircraft crashing into the sea. Precision, control, real-world success. The kind of success that defines the Marine Corps in modern warfare. The Marines aboard the ACVs represent the ground combat element. The GCE is comprised of a battalion landing team, a reinforced infantry battalion with significant combat power. The ground combat element has the greatest number of personnel within the MU at approximately 1,100 Marines and sailors. Representing a balanced fusion of modernity and Marine grit, The Marines of the ground combat element embrace emerging technologies to outpace future threats while relying on timeless, battle-proven methods to fight and win. As the infantry-centered core of the Marine Air Ground Task Force, the ground combat element will harness robotics, artificial intelligence, and advanced sensors to expand reach and tempo across the multi-domain battle space.
Four FA-18s thunder low over the formation, their vapor trails painting the sky. Above them, two F-35s burn steady and silent, watching every angle. This is more than a spectacle, it's a message. A show of force shapes behavior. It deters the hesitant and sends a clear message to any adversary. We can see you. We can strike you. And if need be, we will. Supporting Marines on the ground, compressing decision time for the enemy, and creating a deadly air-ground dilemma. Got to be coming. High above the battlefield, the sky erupts into an integration of generations. FA-18 Hornets carve aggressive turns, climbing and diving, pushing the fight with raw speed and agility. From above, stealthy F-35 Lightning IIs lock on, their sensors fusing every moment into digital battlespace. What you're watching is more than a dogfight. It's Marine Corps aviators creating air superiority. This allows ground forces to seize and hold the objective. Hornets and Lightnings, proving that the modern fight, dominance comes from teamwork across the spectrum. Fast, lethal, unstoppable. Over Red Beach, the F-35 Bravo demonstrates what sets it apart from every other fifth-generation fighter, the ability to hover. The vertical lift fan engine engages, holding the aircraft steady in midair, a capability unique to the Marine Corps. Hover flight allows the F-35B to operate in the most austere environments, far from established runways. Marines can build forward arming and refueling points, known as FARPs, in the dirt, on the road, or on an island airstrip, and keep these aircraft in the fight where they're needed most. And when the fight shifts to the sea, the F-35 Bravo brings that same flexibility to the Navy. This short takeoff and vertical landing variant can touch down on amphibious assault ships, giving the Navy and Marine Corps a fifth-generation strike fighter that can project power from any climb or place. Amphibious combat vehicles ramps drop as Marines surge into the fight. Overhead, UH-1 Yankee Venoms and AH-1 Zulu Vipers rake enemy positions with rockets and cannon fire, while F-18 Hornets scream down and deliver precision strikes. Targets shift and move, but there is no confusion. Every round, every bomb, every burst of fire is deconflicted with the Marines pressing forward on the ground. That discipline, that synchronization comes from our Joint Terminal Attack Controllers. JTACs orchestrate the modern battlefield. With a radio and a tablet, they control ordnance from joint aircraft in close proximity to maneuvering forces, linking air, land, and sea fires into one decisive punch. And the Marine Corps doesn't just employ JTACs for ourselves. We provide them to the Joint Force, setting the standard for precision, integration, and battlefield control. With fires synchronized, the battalion landing team presses into the objective area. Squads pushing through breach points, clearing house by house, street by street. Every corner secured, every building taken, until the objective is seized. Over the horizon, the sea roars, riding cushions of air. Navy landing craft air cushions, LCACs, burst into view. These massive hovercrafts, capable of carrying 60 tons and reaching speeds of 50 knots, carry the fight to the shore, bringing Marines, vehicles, and heavy firepower directly across the surf. From ship to ship, LCACs give the Navy and Marine Corps team unmatched speed, reach, and surprise, delivering combat power where the enemy least expects it.
The Navy does more than bring Marines to the fight. It sustains them. Ships offshore purify water, generate power, provide medical care, and deliver ammunition. Without sailors, the fight ashore would falter. With them, it endures. The logistics combat element surging supplies ashore is comprised of the Combat Logistics Battalion personnel and equipment designed to support and sustain the MU for up to 15 days in an austere environment. The logistics combat element also provides service support that includes postal, medical, dental, supply, explosives ordnance disposal, fuels, and more. They accomplished this with just 300 Marines and sailors.
A 3-ship amphibious ready group consists of 1 big deck and 2 modern amphibious transport docks or dock landing ships that enable fleet and geographic combatant commanders options. This formation operates independently or in aggregate, and the sea-based Marines can be tailored for a wide range of missions conducted from ship to shore. The amphibious ready group and Marine Expeditionary Unit is always present and always ready to project sustained combat power ashore, exactly when and where the joint force needs it. Look to the sky. Layered Navy air power thunders overhead. At 1,000 feet, fighters roar low, ready to unleash fire at a moment's notice. At 4,000 and 5,000 feet, strike and electronic attack aircraft circle like hawks, stacked for speed and dominance. Every jet you see was launched from the deck of the USS Theodore Roosevelt, a carrier strike group that carries the fight anywhere in the globe. From sea to sky to shore, this is the full might of carrier aviation. Loud, fast, unstoppable. As carrier aviation owns the skies and Marines press inland, the Navy sustains the fight. LCACs offload additional vehicles and supplies and reinforcements. Every load extends endurance. Every delivery builds momentum.
The beachhead continues to grow. Marines establish a defensive perimeter, securing ground for follow-on forces. Landing craft deliver artillery and vehicles. Light armored reconnaissance pushes inland, striking quickly and generating tempo.
The Nemesis, light armored vehicles, M777s, and HIMARS rocket launchers deploy onto the sand, delivering armor and long-range precision dominance straight from the sea to the shore. The Nemesis is a ground-based offensive anti-ship capability that contributes to the fleet's ability to achieve sea control, sea denial, and defense against maritime threats. Nemesis allows Marines to support the surrounding naval forces by countering surface threats without reliance on traditional naval platforms. The remotely operated capability of the Nemesis enables a smaller, more expeditionary deployable capability. Partnered with remote firing positions, it increases survivability on the battlefield and enhances operations for forward deployed forces. The ARG-MU is the initial stabilizing force that creates the necessary conditions for the arrival of the joint force. Overhead, the B-1 Lancer leads a formation of long-range strike assets, armed with precision and conventional weapons to deliver devastating firepower. They conduct a global strike to project power rapidly and decisively anywhere in the world to achieve strategic objectives. Now that the Marines have massed combat power ashore, we begin to set conditions for movement to other objectives further inland. The king of battle arrives. M777 howitzers are emplaced and prepared to support ground maneuver. The M777 fires the 155mm M795 high explosive round with precision. Sustained at 2 rounds a minute, surging to 4 when demanded. Operated by a section chief and 9 cannoneers. Directed by the Fire Direction Center. Approved by the Fire Support Coordination Center. This is not only steel and power, it is calculation and courage, timing and trust. The quiet math that makes thunder purposeful. The call for fire flows from the forward observer, located with the assault force, to the Fire Direction Center, the mathematicians of mayhem. The Fire Direction Officer and Ops Chief run the numbers. Data is verified, and the fire command is sent to the gun line. The crew moves like a single organism. One shoulders the high explosive shell. Another sets the point detonating fuse. Finally, the charge is added. Breech closed, tube elevated. The battery is ready. Then, silence. Thunder! The gun recoils. The earth shakes and 155mm shell tears through the air. Speed, mass, steel rain, inbound. Corrections flow. The crew repeats. The rhythm builds. 1, 2. A metrodome of steel. Fire, sustained. Pressure unrelenting. Motor T waits with fuel and trucks. Comms log every shot. Battalion commander. XO, gunnery sergeant, first sergeant, eyes sharp, watching the battlefield transform. we witnessed the arrival of the Carrier Strike Group, a formidable force of naval power and precision, as it sails into position to support a dynamic amphibious assault. The Carrier Strike Group represents the pinnacle of maritime capability, seamlessly integrating air, surface, and subsurface assets to project power and ensure dominance across the battle space. At the heart of the strike group is the aircraft carrier, a floating fortress of innovation and strength, serving as the centerpiece of naval aviation. The Carrier Strike Group stands ready to support the amphibious assault, demonstrating the unmatched capability of the United States Navy and the United States Marine Corps team.
Behind every movement you have seen is a resilient command and control network, hardened against cyber threats and protected by Marine cyber warfare operators. This seamless flow of data ensures Marines never fight blind. The Marine Corps of 2025 is connected, resilient, and decisive.
This choreography of warfare is directed by the Marine Expeditionary Unit Command Element. The command element, comprised of approximately 200 Marines and sailors, is led by the Marine Expeditionary Unit Commander and supporting staff. They exercise command and control over the Aviation Combat Element, the Ground Combat Element, and Logistics Combat Element. They have special detachments like Signals Intelligence, Counterintelligence, Civil Affairs, Communication Strategy and Operations, and Reconnaissance. From flintlocks to fifth-generation fighters, from wooden decks to steel carriers, the Navy and Marine Corps continuously evolve, but their fighting spirit endures. The message is simple. The Navy and Marine Corps team is ready. Ready to deter, ready to fight, ready to defend the homeland. The amphibious ready groups and Marine Expeditionary Units give our nation's leaders flexible, forward-deployed options that are sovereign, scalable, ready, and in position when it matters most. These formations respond in hours, not weeks, without relying on access, basing, or overflight permissions. Their presence alone can deny adversaries the decision space they crave, shape the battle space, and introduce doubt before the first shot is even fired.
For 2.5 centuries, Marines have stormed beaches, fought in jungles, deserts, and cities, and carried our nation's colors with honor. At Belleau Wood, Marines earned the name Devil Dogs. On Iwo Jima, Marines raised the flag seen around the world. In Fallujah, Marines fought block by block to bring stability in chaos. What you see today is that same spirit, sharpened by modern technology, amplified by our brothers and sisters in the Navy, and carried forward by the Marines of 2025.
For 250 years, Marines have answered the nation's call. Today, we honor that legacy. From distributed maritime operations to precision long-range fires, from amphibious assaults to cyber defense, the Navy and Marine Corps team is equipped to win. This is the raw strength of America. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our nation's 911 force. Always forward, always faithful, always ready. Ladies and gentlemen, your United States Navy and United States Marine Corps.
You've been watching the United States Marine Corps offering up a bit of an exercise showing all phases of what the Marines do, be it in the air, be it in the water, or be it on ground. It was overseen by Vice President J.D. Vance, who himself is a Marine. You saw him leaving there, and he'll be heading over to the main staging area where we're expecting him to give remarks. We can show that again. There the Vice President is, along with his Secret Service details and the media.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome retired U.S. Marine Corps officer and fitness advocate, Kagan Dunlap.
To the main stage and let you hear some of the speakers. But Ben, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I've got you.
And I asked that question, Ben, not to be funny, but I can only imagine how loud it was for you being there on the ground with all the helicopters and planes flying over you and the various ordinances. Describe the feeling of being so close to the action, if you will.
The only thing I can say, Terrence, is as a man, I think of myself like this is like the experience for a young boy. It's a dream. What I just got to witness firsthand, the military power is just incomprehensible. To be able to be standing here on the front row of the beaches of Camp Pendleton for this celebration, as we see Vice President Vance getting back in the motorcade, this is the coolest thing I've ever done in my life. I mean, it is freaking awesome. It's just it's hard to put it into words.
Ben, I think you probably said it most appropriately. It's freaking awesome. Even watching it here from a distance with the narration, it was still pretty, to quote you, freaking awesome to watch all of that. And I think really the big takeaway here, Ben, though, is this is what our Marines do on a daily basis. And even though the technology has increased, the mission has been the same for the last 250 years.
Yeah, we got to witness something that most civilians never get to see. You know, you'll see combat videos, you'll see military in action, but to see it coordinated in an example like we got to see today, all of these different types of technology, all of these different vehicles, and the manpower, the strategies, the way they take the beach in waves, and how which group takes the beach when, and how that clears the way for the next group. You know, I mean, if the coolest part to me was definitely the artillery, to watch those go off, and they're at least probably 2 miles away from where I'm standing right now, and then to get that first wave of the concussion and then the second wave, it was just, I mean, it really is incredible. And then to see the aircraft carriers, then the hovercrafts, and the hovercrafts coming in at this distance, and then as they came on shore, it is truly powerful thing to witness. And as you mentioned, this is what our warfighters train for every single day. They train for not situations like this. This just gives them an opportunity to show off, but really they train for this as a real world situation, because they know they're going into life-threatening situations, and ultimately they want to be as prepared, equipped, and ready as possible to deal hell on the enemy. And that's what we saw today. If you're an enemy of America, man, just go home. Don't even try.
Exactly. It's better to be a friend than an enemy of America, I'll tell you that. Ben, as we're kind of watching the Vice President's motorcade make its way back to the main area, back to the area where the rest of the Marines are assembled, obviously you were within eyesight of the Vice President as all of this was playing out, but it's my understanding that Secretary of War Pete Hegseth was also close to all of this. Were you able to see him and kind of watch as he's taking all of this in?
Yeah, no, it's actually he's leaving right as we speak. Right now, he's in a. Turn the camera real quick. I just want to show what Pete Hegseth is riding in. Maybe see if we can get him rolling out over here real quick. Let me move that out around. So this is a different type of motorcade. So VP Vance just went across. This is what Pete Hegseth. He's in the second vehicle there, yeah, I got to watch him. I was actually going back and forth. I was looking at one stage and then looking back at the other one, and they were just as excited, I think, as we were. I mean, these guys are war fighters themselves, but to be here to witness it, you know, obviously they have more experience in this than I do. But I basically kept turning back and forth, because part of it was you didn't know where things were coming from. You didn't know where the aircraft was coming from. Obviously they did. I didn't. And so I look up at Pete Hegseth, and he was watching, and he had his looks like some family members there with him. And then you look back at JD Vance and his wife. They're there, and I mean, we were in the coolest spot you can possibly imagine as they head out. It's just awesome experience here, and just to give you a perspective, so they're right there, I'm right here. So Secretary Hegseth was right there, VP Vance was right there, and we got hovercraft on the beaches right behind me. We had and I don't know what was cool, the artillery, or actually witnessing Navy SEALs swim onto the beach and then take their positions. The Marine Corps, the Recon coming in, and you talk about stealthy, we didn't even see them coming. They cleared the houses, the kill houses, and then they moved. It's like you think of synchronized swimming. It was synchronized Marines coming on to take the ground over here, and then they got down on the ground and they disappeared. I mean, it truly, I mean, the whole thing is just, I keep going back to freaking awesome. It's awesome.
The kid in Ben Berkham just came out, and we appreciate it. Ben, before I let you go, it seems to me that this was just an example, and we've been saying this really all day, that this is patriotism on full display. Showing the capabilities of our military, in this particular case, the Marines, is another way to express that patriotism and that pride that we all feel when we see men and women in uniform.
That's exactly right. And all I can say is, as we started the show, thank God we have our Commander-in-Chief, Donald J. Trump, in office. I can only imagine what this would have been if it was the alternative that had been voted into office. Our leadership matters. And because all of those decisions come from the top. You've got our Commander-in-Chief. Now, we the people are the bosses of those leaders, but they get to make the decisions. And all of that emotion, all of that energy, all of that mindset comes from the top down. And man, you talk about a night and day difference between where we were a year ago to where we are today. This is the direction that our military needs to go if we're going to continue to be the world's superpower, the greatest superpower that has ever existed on the planet. And that's what we saw on full display today. I'm going to be actually leaving this location as soon as we get the go-ahead. We're on lockdown now until Secret Service has moved Vice President Vance away. Amanda head, we're going to be moving over to the main stage. I'll be joining them over there. But man, just what a cool opportunity today to see America's power unleashed.
Ben, that was going to be my last question, but the more you talk and the more I'm kind of taking in what we just witnessed, just leads to more questions. And one of the things that just occurred to me, Ben, during the Biden years, recruitment for our Army, the Air Force, the Marines was down. That recruitment is back up. And I would point to what we just witnessed. I can't imagine any high school kid watching that and saying, you know what? Yeah, that's not for me. Like, that's the kind of thing that makes you want to go to the recruiting office tomorrow and say, sign me up, I want some of that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I just witnessed the best recruiting video firsthand you'll ever get to see. When you get to watch Navy SEALs drop out of helicopters, then swim on shore, then Marine Recon parachute down and come on. Then you got the amphibious vehicles coming up, dropping off the next wave of Marines. They come through, guns, boom, boom, explosions, munitions going off everywhere. They clear the objective, and then they get to go shake the Vice President's hand. Yeah, there's a reason why you've got recruiting numbers through the roof today, and they were dismal previously. And part of that also is the appreciation that we have. We're not trying to transgender the military anymore. We're trying to weaponize and give them the strength and the tools that they need to go fight these battles. Because today was a demonstration, but every single day that these men and women wake up is a day that they may have to go and actually put this training into practice. It's a day that may be their last. And so what you need to bring those people back is for them to understand that the Commander-in-Chief has their back, and that the Secretary of War has their back. And if they're going to be sent in to harm's way for this nation, that they know that they have every tool, capability possible, and they have the backing of their leadership. And that goes back to what we've seen in the past. You didn't know, were they going to have my back or were they going to be on the side of the enemy? Clearly, this administration is on the side of we the people, and in particular, the war fighters that go before us.
Absolutely. Ben Berkram, it's been so good to spend this last hour with you and kind of watch you take it all in. I'm taking it all in as well. You have the quote of the day. It was freaking awesome. Absolutely, Ben. Good to see you, my friend. We'll let you break down and get on over to the other stage. We'll check back with you here in just a little bit. But folks, want to just remind you that there are so many choices out there when it comes to who you choose for your cell phone service, and there are new ones that are popping up pretty much all the time. But here's the truth. There's only one that boldly stands in the gap for every American that believes that freedom is worth fighting for, and that would be Patriot Mobile. For more than 12 years, Patriot Mobile has been on the front lines fighting for our God-given rights and freedoms while also providing exceptional nationwide cell phone service with access to all three of the main networks. Don't just take my word for it. Ask the hundreds of thousands of Americans who have made the switch and are now supporting causes that they believe in simply by joining Patriot Mobile. Switching is easier than ever these days. You can activate in minutes from the comfort of your own home, and you can keep your number, or you can keep your phone, or an upgrade if you decide. Patriot Mobile's all US-based support team is standing by to take care of you. All you have to do is call 972-PATRIOT today. Or you can go to patriotmobile.com/SaveUSA. Use the promo code SaveUSA for a free month of service. Go to patriotmobile.com/SaveUSA or call 972-PATRIOT and make the switch today. All right, folks, we're going to take a very brief break, let you get something to drink and take in what all you've seen, and then we'll get you back here to Camp Pendleton as we celebrate the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Marine Corps.
We'll be right back with more Marine 250 from sea to shore, only on Real America's Voice.